A zoo is a facility in which animals are housed within enclosures, cared for, displayed to the public, and in some cases bred. The term zoological garden refers to zoology, the study of animals. The term is derived from the Greek zoon, animal, and the suffix logia, study of. The abbreviation zoo was first used of the London Zoological Gardens, which was opened for scientific study in 1828 and to the public in 1847. In the United States alone, zoos are visited by over 181 million people annually. The London Zoo, which was opened in 1828, was initially known as the Gardens and Menagerie of the Zoological Society of London, and it described itself as a menagerie or zoological forest. The abbreviation zoo first appeared in print in the United Kingdom around 1847, when it was used for the Clifton Zoo. But it was not until some 20 years later that the shortened form became popular in the song Walking in the Zoo by music hall artist Alfred Vance. The term zoological park was used for more expansive facilities in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Washington, D.C., and the Bronx in New York, which opened in 1847, 1891 and 1899 respectively. Relatively new terms for zoos in the late 20th century are conservation park or biopark. Adopting a new name is a strategy used by some zoo professionals to distance their institutions from the stereotypical and nowadays criticized zoo concept of the 19th century. The term biopark was first coined and developed by the National Zoo in Washington, D.C. in the late 1980s. In 1993, the New York Zoological Society changed its name to the Wildlife Conservation Society and branded the zoos under its jurisdiction as wildlife conservation parks. The predecessor of the zoological garden is the menagerie, which has a long history from the ancient world to modern times. The oldest known zoological collection was revealed during excavations at Hierakonpolis, Egypt in 2009, of a ca. 3500 BCE menagerie. The exotic animals included hippopotami, hartebeest, elephants, baboons and wildcats. King Ashur-bel-Kala of the Middle Assyrian Empire created zoological and botanical gardens in the 11th century BCE. In the 2nd century BCE, the Chinese Empress Tangqi had a house of deer built, and King Wen of Zhou kept a 1,500-acre zoo called Ling Yu, or the Garden of Intelligence. Other well-known collectors of animals included King Solomon of the Kingdom of Israel and Judah, Queen Semiramis and King Ashurbanipal of Assyria, and King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylonia. By the 4th century BCE, zoos existed in most of the Greek city-states. Alexander the Great is known to have sent animals that he found on his military expeditions back to Greece. The Roman emperors kept private collections of animals for study or for use in the arena, the latter faring notoriously poorly. The 19th century historian W. E. H. Lecky wrote of the Roman games, first held in 366 BCE. At one time, bear and a bull, chained together, rolled in fierce combat across the sand. 400 bears were killed in a single day under Caligula. Under Nero, 400 tigers fought with bulls and elephants in a single day. At the dedication of the Colosseum by Titus, 5,000 animals perished. Under Trajan, lions, tigers, elephants, rhinoceroses, hippopotami, giraffes, bulls, stags, even crocodiles and serpents were employed to give novelty to the spectacle. Charlemagne had an elephant named Abul Abbas that was given to him by the Abbasid Caliph. Henry I of England kept a collection of animals at his palace in Woodstock which reportedly included lions, leopards, and camels. The most prominent collection in medieval England was in the Tower of London, created as early as 1204 by King John I. Henry III received a wedding gift in 1235 of 3 leopards from Frederick II, Holy Roman Emperor, and in 1264, the animals were moved to the bulwark, renamed the Lion Tower, near the main western entrance of the tower. It was opened to the public during the reign of Elizabeth I in the 16th century. During the 18th century, the price of admission was 3 halfpence, or the supply of a cat or dog for feeding to the lions. The animals were moved to the London Zoo when it opened, Aztec Emperor Moctezuma had in his capital city of Tenochtitlan a house of animals, with a large collection of birds, mammals and reptiles in a garden tended by more than 600 employees. The garden was described by several Spanish conquerors, including Hernán Cortés in 1520. After the Aztec revolt against the Spanish rule, and during the subsequent battle for the city, Cortés reluctantly ordered the zoo to be destroyed. The oldest zoo in the world still in existence is the Tiergarten Schönbrunn in Vienna, Austria. It was constructed by Adrian van Staekhoven in 1752 at the order of Emperor Francis I, to serve as an imperial menagerie as part of Schönbrunn Palace. The menagerie was initially reserved for the viewing pleasure of the imperial